All right, it's time to go back and talk about everybody's favorite janky spin-off, Dragons: The Nine Realms. Why? You tell me, because I joked about doing a follow-up thinking no one would want it, and then, a couple 100,000 views, a couple thousand subscribers, and a bajillion comments later, I think I gotta do another one. Which, for context, at the time of uploading that video, the highest viewed video on my channel, I believe, had 30 views? So by popular demand, we're going back, baby! Specifically, a lot of people wanted me to redesign the humans, which I teased with a singular frame in my thank you video, and this kid couldn't wait and tried to finish it themselves. I see you. I see the motivation. I'm hiding my teasers harder next time. Keep your eyes peeled. The game is on. So I did it. I redesigned the humans, main kids and the parents. Problem eals, in comparison to my last video, I don't have a lot to say here. Everything I found egregious has already been covered in my last video, which by this point, if you haven't seen, you're going to want to watch it for context. I'm not going over everything again. And also, I wasn't really as upset about the human designs as I was for the dragons. That's why I designed the dragons for the last one, and then I thought that was going to be it. Because of all those reasons, while we are running the speed paints here, instead of talking about why I chose the design choices that I did, I will instead be going over how I would rewrite episode 1 if it were me. Because after the first video, I kind of plotted it out for the sake of it, with the intention of tacking it onto the end of the redesign and rant, and that made it too long. So in the style of what if the Star Wars prequels were good, what if Dragons: The Nine Realms was good? Or rather, redesign and rewrite, I guess. Disclaimer, belated media did it better. I'm not nearly as cool or as well spoken. Also, a lot of people watching this probably have not watched the original first episode because they saw the promo material and bailed, rightly so. So I don't know how well this rewrite will land for everybody, but here we go. We open with an establishing shot flying over this ravine, showing us bright green grass on either side of this crevasse that dips into an unfathomable darkness. We hear the heavy beats of wings, like we're watching from the eyes of a dragon. We then dip down into the fissure, the sunlight dwindling as we go, the sound going from light winds and chirping birds to an echoing wind and heavy weight of some distant thunder rumbling. This is giving us a sense of depth, foreboding, and mystery with this fissure that is going to be a big place where all the magic is happening. And as we dip down further into the darkness and fog, we begin to hear a sudden beeping. And then all of a sudden on the screen, the image glitches, and we see error, connection lost. We reveal our character Tom is holding the screen we've been watching as a tablet and is confused and distraught. Oh my god, fantasy vibes interrupted by modern technology? Almost like that's the whole appealing theme for the entire show. Establishing that in a 30-second clip? Honestly, it's not that wild of a shot, but I like it better than the one we had, and I'm using it to jump us into the action faster because we are reordering events. Tom hears his mother calling him from afar, so we learn his name, as he stands on the edge of the ravine, but he elects to slide his way down the cliffside and find his drone. He sees it crashed on a ledge in front of a cave. Along the walls, he sees electric tubing snaking its way down the wall and into the cave. And within, he hears the groans of a large animal in pain. Empathetic. He makes his way into the cave. Evidence of a cave-in and fallen rubble around him as he goes. And in the darkness, he finds a claw sticking out from underneath a large wire tube, electricity crackling out. Tom assumes that the creature is being electrocuted and crushed, and he works quickly to levy the tube up so that the creature can escape. The shadow escapes, but we don't see a clear look at him yet. We only see a large shadow rise. As Tom approaches it, it opens its maw to reveal a toothy electric grin before disappearing into the cave. Awestruck, Tom hears the calls of his mother and quickly retreats back up the cliffside. He makes the excuse that his drone fell, and she scolds him. Tom, we haven't even been here a full hour, and you're already running off. You remember our deal. You stay within the confines of the facility, and you stay on your best behavior, or else you're getting shipped to Grandma's for the summer instead. This is ground zero for the biggest scientific discovery of the decade, not your personal playground. Now come on, it's time to go meet everybody. And they walk off the shot that pans out to reveal this big scientific facility, a sign of the Rake logo in view. So what have we learned in maybe 3 minutes? There's a giant ravine. It is apparently weird, and people are researching it. There's a boy named Tom. Tom has a mom. Mom is here for science and brought Tom along to the science facility for the summer. Tom might be a troublemaker with a history of scampering off. Tom met an animal that is weird. This area maybe has cave-ins? Look at that. Look at all of that. We did that in so fast. Also, quick thing that I did change it from being ambiguously during the school year to be summer vacation, because that gives the kids a bunch of unstructured time to do things and a reason to never look at or address the concept of school and schoolwork, instead of establishing that and then ignoring it, or I guess half establishing it and ignoring it. Doesn't matter. Alright, so we meet everybody. Jun and Jun's mom already know Tom and Mom, and they joke about at least 3 examples of Tom interacting with dangerous wildlife without regard of his own safety. We can't just do the polar bear incident, guys. We can't. Give me more. You can give me that he crawled into a polar bear exhibit when he was 5, but also give me saving snakes from extermination when he was 7. Give me, an experience from Mom on a camping trip where she found him giving a can of tuna to a mountain lion. Establish his disregard for his own safety when it comes to dangerous animals. Give me empathy for animals besides the polar bear on repeat. Make him seem like he's done more things in his life. We meet the rest of the team. Tom is established as outgoing and outdoorsy. Alex is established as quiet and not outdoorsy. D'Angelo is really into the military and stuff, but okay, here's something I had a problem with. I had a problem that he looked really adult, like a shrunken down adult man. Made me very uncomfortable. So no, he's more like a Boy Scout who's into survival stuff. He is just a kid who has interests. Maybe he's into dioramas to give him some depth. And then June is now a nerd who's super into fantasy. She has an athleisure style because I've decided to characterize her as ambitious enough to be sporty, but nerdy enough to stay in and watch all the Lord of the Rings movies in one sitting at a moment's notice. So it's just about fantasy. It's not fantasy in relation to culture. It's just fantasy. There's a separation. They're not blending together, because that was discomforting. Also, I feel like we're not going past the first episode here, but like a nice thread to tie the team together, progressing forward into the season, I feel like would be, each member's relationship with nature. Obviously Tom is super into nature. Alex can have a moment of what's so great about the outdoors. D'Angelo's mentality is purely on survival, and Jun's connection to nature is a bit more fantasy-like, and she needs a reality check on how, wild animals think, but, all that's for later. We're doing the tour of relevant places to the story and cast, and they explain what they know about the geological anomaly of the fissure and what they're doing there. Tom eagerly asks about the effect the anomaly has on animals in the area, and they're like, nothing. The anomaly just makes it difficult for us to get signals after a certain depth, so we're extending tubes down the fissure with wires so we can, get a signal down far enough to figure out what's going on, but there's nothing happening with the animals. Tom is, of course, asking because of the weird electricity animal that he saw earlier, and making reference that, that kind of was a weird thing that happened. We'll still have that moment where Tom goes back into the elevator and he goes down to the restricted level, but instead of it just being cool down there, it's a bottommost level that is already wrecked and partially caved in. So this is the second sign. In case the first one wasn't clear enough, we got a second sign that there have been cave-ins and geological disturbances. And instead of finding an employee, he'll find a small family of bats and be both surprised and comforted that they're regular animals. Right as Tom is caught in the restricted area, that's when we'll have the earthquake. But once again, instead of him trying to save a employee, he's going to go back and he's going to try to make sure that the family of bats escapes. And of course, he'll just barely make it back to safety before rocks cover up the exit. Ooh, drama. In the wide shot of what's going on outside of the facility, we'll see the bats flying away from the level, and we'll see part of the large shadow again, watching before darting off into the fissure. Tom gets in trouble, Mom asks what happened and why he went back, and he neglects to mention about the bats, making an excuse like he dropped his phone or something. He is willing to lie to protect the fact that there are bats living in the facility because he doesn't want them kicked out of their home. He doesn't want them exterminated. What if they were there first? a late night editor, Eileen, back at it again, everybody's favorite character. Just here to clarify, this is a plant for later episodes. It's not supposed to be clear right away when he lies to his mom about this, like what his intentions are for lying. And as a viewer, you're just supposed to, clock that he lied. Some plants are for paying off within the episode, some are for paying off later in the series. This is just a first example and a character trait that will reoccur in later episodes and maybe bite Tom in the ass for lying to his mom on a consistent basis. I don't know. Maybe in my series he's going to suffer for his mistakes and become a better person in the end. Who's to say? That's me. I'm supposed to be one who could say. But I'm not writing the rest of the series. I just have to explain that. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Tom and Mom make up, they hug, and they sign off for the night. Before Tom goes to bed, he looks outside and he notices a short streak of the purple lightning, like he saw earlier in the cave. Curiosity gets the best of him, and he quietly sneaks out to explore. We see Thunder sneaking around behind... Well, okay, we don't know it's Thunder yet. We see the figure sneaking around behind him, curiously cooing, and Tom stops and suddenly turns around, flashing his flashlight into Thunder's eyes, causing them both to scream in surprise. Tom runs away and he ends up stumbling into a hidden cave in the woods, this being the cave that will eventually be their home base. Thunder slips into the cave behind him and slowly approaches Tom, still super obscured in shadow. Tom tries to get his flashlight to work and accidentally flashes Thunder in the eyes again. When he pulls the light away, he has the empathetic intelligence to realize Thunder isn't attacking Tom. He's afraid of the light from the flashlight. Tom hesitates for a moment, but decides to turn off the flashlight as he settles Thunder down. Alright, here we go, kids. Get ready for a respectful How to Train Your Dragon parallel moment as best as humanly possible. Thunder quiets down, but he still growls since Tom still has the flashlight in his hand. Tom gently puts down the flashlight. Thunder motions his head for Tom to toss the flashlight away. Tom kicks the flashlight away. Thunder softens. His eyes dilate and his ears unpin as he steps forward into the moonlight. There they have a majestic moment where Tom is able to see all of Thunder standing before him, revealed in the light, and he realizes in shock and awe that he is staring at a dragon. Tom tries to reach out to touch Thunder, but Thunder recoils and runs away, leaving Tom standing in the moonlight by himself, realizing dragons are in fact real. That's my reimagining of the first episode of Dragons in High Realms. I hope you enjoyed. I kind of already covered my mindset with the kids as I was going through there, but as for the adults, I got rid of Tom's mom's dead anime mom ponytail, and both her and Jun's mom got to be part of the color-coded coveralls gang, because why are they so special? Also, I didn't get the hat. The hat really bothered me. They never established it clearly in the show, but I'm assuming that red was security, green is science, and blue is health and living. So they get to be green because I think they're both scientists. That's what the wiki says. I hope y'all like this wild ride. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I gave that call to action last time, and y'all delivered with everything from 2-word answers to full-on essays. So thank you. Give me more words to consume. If you like the way I draw, my commissions are open. All the info for that is pinned in my Twitter, and today's Redbubble shop highlight is Taco Coon. He is a raccoon with a taco, and he gets into shenanigans. Wear him on a hat or a shirt or a pin to represent the trash pandas out there with an affinity for Mexican cuisine. Alright, end of video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.